A solid cube of side 6. Okay, I like the fact I'm visualizing that we're dealing with a cube here that I did another problem recently that just comes to mind where I had a rectangular solid with 3 different sides. All sides here are equal to 6, so that's kind of reassuring. I'm only dealing with one number rather than 3 different numbers for the 3 different sides. So that's just kind of an emotional relief in some sense, that a little bit easier if it's a cube. A solid cube of side 6 is first painted pink, and then does that have any, I'm just wondering if that's going to have anything to do with the problem. I guess it is, but sometimes they'll throw superfluous information in there. And then cut into smaller cubes of side 2. I'm not picturing exactly how that's going to work, but I want to keep reading the question before I try to picture it. How many of the smaller cubes have paint on exactly 2 sides? Oh boy, okay, this is three-dimensional. I'm going to redraw my thing here because that didn't really turn out too nice of a cube. I really need a halfway decent drawing. This is too much to visualize in my brain. Each side is going to be cut with 3 cuts. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. In order to get cut into smaller cubes of side 2, I've got to really visualize what's going on here if I'm going to have any hope of figuring out where all the pinkness goes. So let's see here. Well, I just want to count how many small cubes I've got in general. I've got 3 by 3 by 3. I've got 27, because that's 3 cubed. 27 cubes. Now what I'm going to want to do in order to figure out how many, in the process of figuring out how many of the smaller cubes have paint on exactly 2 sides, I think I'm going to want to find out not only how many have, I'm going to want to account for every one of these 27 cubes. I'm going to go beyond the Call of Duty, and they're just asking me how many cubes have paint on exactly 2 sides, but I'm going to find out how many cubes have paint on 0 sides, how many have paint on 1 side, how many have it on 2 sides, and how many have it on 3 sides. Because if I just figure out the answer to the question, how many have paint on 2 sides, I could be missing something, like I overlooked one of the cubes, or I counted one too many times. But if I carefully account for every cube in there, every small cube in there, all 27 of them, then I can have better confidence, because I don't want to get this question wrong. And so I'm going to go beyond the Call of Duty, and I'm going to account for every one of those cubes. So, how many I'm going to have... Oh, the cubes could have... Oh, dear. They could have paint on, I think, at most 3 sides. I don't think I'm going to get a cube that has paint on more than 3 sides. Let me make sure I'm reading the question right. That paint pink did matter. Solid cube of side 6 is first painted all on the outside, and then cut into smaller cubes of side 2. So only the outside of this cube, like a little die, has pink on it, but none of the pink is seeping into the inside. There's one cube right in the middle that doesn't get any paint on it. Sides, and the number of sides with paint, I wouldn't write all this. I would just I would write sides or something like this. I wouldn't, but for the sake of the viewer, the number of sides with paint on them, and then the number of such smaller cubes that have paint on exactly that number of sides. Not at least that many sides, not at most that many sides, but exactly that number of sides. One cube smack in the middle has paint on 0 sides. If I want to get a cube that has paint on just one face, that's going to be a guy like this. These guys all along the edges have paint on at least 2 sides, but the one kind of in the middle, like if I had a die and there was just the one dot in the middle, that one middle guy only has paint on one side. Well, there's exactly one of those on each of the external faces of the cube, which there's 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, thinking of a die from a game of dice. Die has 6 sides. How many have paint on 2? Well, I'm already seeing these guys that have 3. The corners have 3. The pieces that are along an edge of the cube but not a corner have paint on exactly 2 sides. So how many of those are there? Well, this is getting a little... I'm just picturing this in my brain. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's kind of the top layer. If I've got 3 layers of my cube here, going down vertically on my cake, if I've got like a 3-layer cake, on the top layer I've got 3. On the second layer there's 1 here, there's 1 guy back around the corner here, hidden. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think each layer of the cake has 4 of these guys. 1, there's a guy hidden back here. 2, a guy hidden back here. 3, a guy right here. 4. Yeah, there's 4. Each layer of the cake has 4 of these guys, that small cubes with paint on 2 sides. 4 per each layer. With 3 layers, there's 12. All these numbers better add up to 27, but I'm not gonna. I could figure out what is 3. Well, I wanna actually count them. How many corners are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that sounds like a familiar number I remember from the past of just how many corners there are on a cube. There's 6 faces and there's 8 corners. Does this add up to 27? 8 plus 12 is 20, plus 6 plus 1, which is 7, 27. Hooray! So I've accounted, I feel confident that I've accounted for all of the cubes that this first cube is broken down into, and we just wanted to know the ones that have paint on exactly 2 sides. There's 12 of them, and I feel good about that. I may just count them one more time in my picturing them in my brain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoosh, 7, 8, 9. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that bottom face, yep. I think we're good, and I feel confident about it because I went beyond the Call of Duty, and I really have accounted for all 27 of those cubes. So I think we're good.